Hello there, welcome back to another video on ARK Survival Ascended. Today, another tutorial, this time of this tower. Now, you can use it in multiple different ways. Of course, you can use it as part of a castle or wall build to have a nice end piece. You can turn it into a gatehouse for said wall. But it is also a fine addition into another build, like for example what I did in this ruin, in this house, and have it on the corner as a little accent building there. It's fairly easy to build this tower, and you can really personalize it and change it to your preferences and your needs for whatever build you're working on. Okay, first of all, let's start with the foundation. Very easy. We just need a 3x3 area for the tower, so it's not too big. Should be able to build this in loads and loads of places. And then there's a lot of different ways that we can actually build this. It's very customizable. First, you need to know where your doors are. For this situation, I would choose probably one door, but it's very easy to add more, add small or big doors. Like if you prefer to have the smaller entrance, you can easily do that as well, and that counts for a lot of this build. It's very customizable to the surroundings. So I'm going to show you a couple of different variations of what you can do for all of the walls, and you can basically just pick wherever it fits best. And let's start with this front wall. Let's just make that 3 high. All of the building pieces of this is going to be 3x3 basically. So that's going to be the very bland wall with just only a door in it. And then on this side we have to decide, of course. In this instance, I would say a window could be nice because it's a pretty view over here. Probably same can be said for all directions here basically. So let's go for one of the basic variations. What you could do is, if I want a window here in the middle, I start with these tall doors and have them go all the way to the top. I think for this one we can do that on all sides, but as I've said, it's very easy to customize this to your needs and to your location, as I will show you in a couple of other variations that I've built of this tower at the end in a little walkthrough as well. So then we just want to fill in the rest of the walls until it's all 3 high, like so. And then of course there's some doors we can add in. For the normal doors, I usually like to use these reinforced ones because I really like the look of those. And then here I use greenhouse doors, not as actual doors, more as windows. I just really like the look of these. And then to add in a little more detail, I would probably add in some of these railings. Also makes it very clear that it's not in fact a door, but it's more like a window, and you can't just go in and out of it. And then we want to add in some beams all around the first layer, just as some extra detail, and also to work away the base of the railings. Make sure you don't do any beams where you have a door, because that looks kind of weird. And then we can have some pillars going up next to the door. We can have a beam above the door, and of course we can have pillars on the corners as well to get a little bit more definition into the build. Now I like to add these on the sides of windows as well. So in this case, we're basically just going to have these pillars going up everywhere. But of course, if you don't like that, you can change that very easily. This build is really easy to customize because it's not actually too complicated to build. So there we go. We can go around as well to finish off this first layer. And this was very basic because we didn't do any weird variations to it. We'll definitely add in a little bit more variation on the second level though. And of course, you probably also want to add in some stairs. So I like to use these wooden stairs that are curved so that we go up. And I like to use these wooden pillars as a little support for the stairs as well to make it look a little bit better in the end. And then we can of course add in our ceiling all the way around as well. Oh, definitely not in the middle because we want to be able to get up here with the stairs. So there we go. That is basically what you should have for the first layer. Now on the second layer, instead of doing the same old wall design, we're going to do some different variations that you can also choose. But as I've said before, you can basically choose to do any of these walls on any of the layers, and you can make the tower as tall or as low as you want, basically. Now for here, I think we want to have at least one balcony. I feel like this side makes the most sense because there's the nice view of the mountain over there. So I'm going to take out the beam because we know we're going to have a door to this balcony over here. And then probably on these other sides, we're going to use a different window design just to get some variation in. Now, what we want to do for this, you want to circle it with wooden beams. And then to get started with this layer, we're going to, of course, figure out where the doors are going to be. Now, for this, I think I'm just going to use a single short doorway for the balcony. I'm actually gonna be building some windows on the sides here, but this time we're gonna have 2 windows. Now there's a couple of variations that you can do for this. I'll show you both of them on this layer. So we'll do windows all around again, because in this location we have pretty nice views everywhere. Now for the normal way, you would just close in this middle part, but what you can also do is add in some double doors. We're not going to use them as doors. We're basically going to create another open bit, but then without any window at all. And then for the other wall here, we can just fill it all in because we have, of course, the doorway to our little balcony already. Okay, then what we want to do is we want to add in more of these glass greenhouse doors. I like to rotate them on the opposite side just so that yeah, it looks a little bit nicer, but that is your personal preference. Doesn't really change too much except the way the door is orientated inside of here. So that is all I would do, and then I would end in these railings at the bottom. And now what we kind of have created is basically this open bit in the middle, which I quite like. And then I would add in some quarter walls to finish off this top bit. I don't think this is going to be able unofficial because you probably can't clip and have collision with materials. So you might have to do without, or just build like a tiny balcony on the outside. I don't know. I just like the look of this. And then, of course, we're going to add in some more pillars going up at least on the corners for sure. I, again, like to have them on the edge of the windows, so probably I'll have them all the way through over here on all of these sides, corners for sure. We could use them there again. Probably going to end up with pillars on a lot of these sides because it's just a easy way to add details. I actually see that I forgot them down here, so let's quickly add them. But again, if you don't like the look of all the pillars, because, well, it does become a little bit much. Add another beam there, by the way. You can also, leave them out on some sides if you like that more. And we'll go along with more beams on the top layer again. Then what we want to do is we want to take a look at this little balcony. What I do is I take these wooden doorways and I put them on the ends of all of these ceilings. Just so that I have like a basis, just like I have a base for this layer right here. Then of course we want to add in some railings. This time it's going to be wood as a little bit of change of color basically for this build. Because, it's very stony so far. And then of course we will also add in a door right there. And any balcony should have good support. So I like to add in some of these sloped walls at the bottom, and you can actually add even more on these as well, just so that it looks actually very well supported instead of just floating on the side. Adds a little bit of detail to your building as well. And then we basically want to start making a little roof for this part. So what I do is these wooden ramps, I place them like so, because it's less steep than the normal roof, and you'll create a nice little overlap as well. But now it's floating, which is not the best look to have. So what I like to do is get railings like this and like this, because now it looks connected again. And then I want to basically do the same on this side as well, just to make it all look connected. And then on the ends of this, I like to add some more railings as well as extra detail. And I like to add in some extra pillars on the end of this so that it's all very well connected. And then now to connect this middle part, what I like to do is get this snap point and place 2 railings on top of each other. Does create a little overlap at the top, but I don't mind it too much. And at least now from this side, it looks like this roof is actually being supported pretty good. So you should end up with something like this, and that's nice little detailed balcony that has a nice view on all sides, and of course a nice little roof so you don't feel the rain when you're standing out on your little balcony enjoying the view. And of course these windows also allow you for a very natural view, because the normal windows don't really allow for that. And I also just like the shape that it adds to the building. Now, as I said before, oh, hello there, he's really enjoying the build. You can also just change around any of these walls design to where you want to be. You could add the balcony on every side if you wanted to. Go crazy, change it around for whatever you need. Now, you could keep on building this tower for as high as you need it to be. For us today, we're just going to keep it at this height. So once again, we're going to start by placing down some stairs to go up. There we go. We'll place it like so. It's always a little bit figuring out where you want the stairs to be. So we get up here. We definitely want to be able to enjoy this view. We want to be able to access this easily. This view as well. So this was, in my case, the best place to add the stairs. I always try to keep that in mind. Usually I like to end the stair in the middle, but in this case it's going to end in the corner, just because that fits a little bit better with the way this build has turned out. But I'll show you the other variations of the tower as well, so you know that it can definitely look different, and you need to keep in mind your own preference and situation. So we have this layer. Now, of course, what we want to do is add in the support for this stair again. So we want to have the pillar going up. Now, what you can actually do is, if you like it, you can have some more pillars to support this. Also makes this look a little bit better in this case. I always try to look at the situation here. So for now, I would definitely at least have railings all around, so you don't just fall down. Now, in the ideal world, you would add probably on every corner, you would want a pillar, a half pillar. We're not going to do that because we're going to have pillars everywhere. But at least on this one, you want to create this little half pillar and then get rid of this piece, because I don't want to have pillars going down to the roof everywhere. But if you line them up in the middle, you can usually have it on the second floor where you can just make it go up from here and have it go up like this, because it's not as bad on this level just to have it go all the way to the top, because it kind of makes a little bit more sense here, because the stairs are usually there. Now, of course, they start on the side, but they still end up going through the middle. And then here we probably want to do the same little trick, but we can actually do it for both of these now, because we place those other pillars. So we can have these nice little half pillars on the top and get rid of the helping pieces, and then place again some railings so you don't accidentally fall over the stairs. We also actually want to place railings all around, because we're going to be building the top of the tower here. So we just want to make sure that we have this shape going on like so, just basically railings everywhere. And then we want to start with these walls again, the double doors, and go all around just to make the nice supports for the roof of the tower. There we go. So it should look something like this. And then we're going to grab our quarter walls. I'm going to place them like this on these ends. And also, you can, of course, change the orientation of the wood if you prefer to have it the other way around. Go to the second variation of the quarter walls and place it on top, so that we have the connecting pieces to connect our sloped walls against and make them fit in perfectly. And then we can place a normal wall on top of the middle one, so that we have this little shape going on. And you should be able to, if you go through the snap points, line up the sloped roofs so that we can finish this shape perfectly without any problems at all. Okay, so we should have something like this right now, and then we want to basically connect them with these quarter ceilings like this, and because that will give us some extra snapping points that we'll actually use for the roof. So you should have something like this. And now if we go to use our roof, I use wood for this, so nope, not this one, because we want to have the snap point of the little quarter roof so that we get the natural overhang on the outside, and then you can just connect the roofs like normal. Then we'll at least have the little half overlap on the outside. I think this should be able to do this on official as well, because I don't see why not. There's no clipping this time. Just looking for the right snap point, and then we have this roof, nice and simple. We do have the little overlap, which I always really enjoy. Then we want to go and place some railings on the end of these roofs, because I like the way this little detail looks. Extends the overlap a little bit more. There we go. And then as for the pillars, we want to probably add some pillars at least on these corners, and then connect them like so. But you can actually also connect them like that, have a little overlap for the support. And then for the rest of the build, now you could definitely add some more pillars here. You could do like this and then have another beam like so, or you can just have them like this. It will poke through a little bit, which, I mean, it's your personal preference whether you're really annoyed by that or not. Yeah, it is what it is, unfortunately. But in the end, you should end up with a tower looking like so. And again, as I said a couple of times before, you can change out these walls, make them look different, make the tower higher or smaller, depending on what you need in your current location and your current situation. What you can also do, if you like, you can also add, of course, a little bit of a roof like this, like we did on the balcony. You can also add that above your door if you want to. But yeah, that's the really simple tower design, but I do think it looks good and it does work very well in many different situations. I will show you two variations that I've actually built on my own server, and then if you want even a different variation with some different materials, I also build a variation of this tower in my Svartalfheim, the modded map playthrough as well, so you can check out that video on the channel as well. Little editor note, I totally forgot. You can also add these railings on top just to add a little bit more detail to the roof. So instead of leaving it empty like this, add some railings, and I personally really like the look of that. But if you don't, you can just leave it like this. It's up to you. Make your own choice. Okay, the first variation of this tower is actually very close to what we've just built. You can see it right here. I built it for this rebuild of this ruin right on the corner, and on the bottom layer I connected it with a little quarter walls and then some ramps to connect into the bigger building. So this is how you could add it to like a keep building like this. And you can see I've got the little overhang here. I think what I did is place a little quarter wall right there, which I can do because I have the collision disable turned on. And then you can have a little overhang for your door here, which looks really nice. Then you can see back this window design actually made it a little shorter on this side, which of course you can also do. This is what I mean with adjusting it. You can see we've got a lot of doors. We've got doors here everywhere to count all the connections. We got a little balcony here as well, which is basically a flyer landing platform. So it's normal ceilings first And then there's the quarter ceilings triangles connected to it to get this shape. So you can easily land like a pterodon or an Argentavis here and get into it. Then we actually have the stairs starting in the corner here. And again, we got these walls that we did for the tutorial as well. And we got something different here. It's filled in with glass doors on this side. And then we have the balcony that we built as well on this side. And then when you go all the way to the top, it's just the normal tower like we did in the tutorial. Only now the stair is in the middle, which makes it a little bit more accessible as well. And then here it is another variation of the same tower I just showed you. This time I've turned it into a gatehouse. So there's two of them next to each other. As you can see right here, this is actually a work in progress. But you can see it's two towers next to each other with a little bit connected where we have a gate on two foundations. So you snap the gate and then you start basically building the structure all around it. We got the first layer with just a basic window in the middle. Then we go up and we have some connections to the walls because this is also part of like a castle. We got the balcony that we built in the tutorial as well. So this little bit is above the gate, so it's just two ceilings. And then these walls with some quarter walls in there, and then a simple roof on the top. And then again, this tower is basically the same. We've got the balcony here. We got the same stairs going up and down. And then the same wall design here as we did in the tutorial as well. And then again, we got the top part looking pretty much the same. So yeah, you can do a lot with this design. And you can play around and do different variations of the same build very, very easily.